It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across the USA and around the world, we are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. So we have X Corporation, huh? I'm looking at the new Twitter symbol, and we're just putting out a warning here to Elon Musk, because I don't think the left has yet looked at the symbol yet and fully been able to digest it.
Yeah.
But and so we're going to help Elon here. They may accuse you of creating 3/4 of a swastika.
You're a couple of turns away from a swastika. You just be careful.
1, 2, 3, 4 different little turns on that, and you got a swastika there.
Yeah, you just be careful with it. I mean, and by the way, X Corporation, we all know that was Lex Luthor's company name and super. We all know. Don't tell me it wasn't. What have we just gone to cosplay full time? Is that what we're doing here? We already know that Zuckerberg's an alien, or he wants to be.
Meta versus X Corporation.
Yeah. It's like, let's stop it. Just grow up.
Meta. Come on.
Meta.
It's reuniting with old high school mates. That's what it is.
It's
Meta. Don't try to make it any more
Meta
than it is.
We're all going to be cartoons. No, we're not. No, we're not. Stop it. I'll look at you. I'll be a cartoon, and you'll be a cartoon, and we'll all live in cartoon land. You're smoking weed.
I think I'll invest in that.
Yeah. Yeah. All the corporations. You know what was funny? Watching the headlines for, I don't know. It was really pretty much for a solid year. The headlines of corporations are investing a lot into the Meta platform, trying to find how it will fit into their business culture in the future. Basically, each of those headlines translated into, we don't know what the hell this is. We think it's cartoons, but the fear of missing out, the FOMO of all of this, has us scrambling and spending millions of dollars so that if everyone is going to be a cartoon, we're going to be cartoons too. Just unreal. So, the artist formerly known as Twitter
X
is called X. All right, fine. I mean, haven't we already done, the thing with X already? The X Games. If he goes 2 more X's, that's obscene.
Triple X. No, you got to pay for Triple X.
Right.
Triple X ain't free.
I think that's where they're going.
You got to pay.
Yeah. Look, we'll add 2 more X's, and we'll give you porn for $19 a month.
Now you sound like when George Costanza was selling computers. Looked at Elaine, he goes, "It's a great computer, and you get porn." She goes, "Well, that's besides the point. I don't care."
Well, hold on a second. I may have just reinvented the business model. We'll throw it in. Look, you get to post something, and you get porn. $19 a month.
That's the Triple X.
That's the Triple X package. The Single X package, you still just get the bots that comment on all of your posts. Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. Fine, whatever.
Hey, I did think about something over the weekend. As I was pondering over the weekend about, as I always do, and you and I have always talked about the fact that, and I got into some discussions about how Republicans should promote things. Because one of the things that I was asked over the weekend by a number of people was, what's the situation? Like you're a guru. Hey, you do this for a living. What is the situation out there?
Right.
Well, let me sit back and educate you peons. No.
Yeah.
But no, one of them was my cousin. She said, tell me what's going on, basically with the two parties. She pays attention. And I said, easy. About 70% of the public agrees with the Republicans on the issues.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't use a Republican name. The Democrats have successfully demonized the personalities of Republicans.
Yeah.
But the American public believes on the issues where they are, about 70%, they're nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And on abortion, as we've talked about before, that even leads towards Republicans slightly.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into, as I've stated, and I had a couple of those conversations again this weekend, and I've said it earlier in the show, but we know some people are coming in, where somebody said, well, what do you do on a show? And I said, well, you tell me, like politically. Yeah. And I said, well, what do you think about politics? She goes, and was a liberal. Well, I think the Republicans are crazy. Tell me what issue. She couldn't. And then she said, well, I'll tell you one thing I believe. It's my body, and it's my body, and I get to protect my body. And I went, oh, so you believe in abortion till birth? Well, no. I, second trimester. Well, then it's not about your body. What? Well, you're saying that the law can tell you can have an abortion after your second trimester. So it's not about your body. And why isn't it? And she was just quiet. And I said, because you believe it becomes a life inside your body. So you believe that the opposition are these incredible radicals, but the only difference is you believe life begins life begins as you enter the third trimester, where somebody else believes it begins at another point.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're calling them crazy. Yet you're arguing the same thing. You both believe it's a life at one point. Yet your argument by saying it's your body is that you would do it till birth, and that's actually not your argument.
Yeah.
And she said, I understand why you do talk radio. I said, well, I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard to, but when I got into these discussions over the weekend, and one of the things that you and I have said is, and we probably have gotten some of our audience because we've gone after Trump a lot of times, that the worst thing about Trump, the worst thing when he was president is that he didn't communicate effectively.
Right.
And I remember that after he was out of office, because somebody brought this up to me, I had a nice walk with somebody, and they said, about, Trump. I mean, I just love those when it would come out, well, see, you got this guy, but you didn't get the mean tweets, as if, see, you made a mistake, and you voted against him because of the mean tweets. And as we've always said, well, there's another way to look at it. That what's your goal as president? Is it to win every rhetorical battle, or is it to win the war constantly on issues? I think it's about winning the war on issues.
Right.
And if I want to win the war on issues, it means tone matters. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to you.
But if you're going to win,
but if,
you're going to have to win over those people that it does matter.
But if you
does matter,
right? But if you can convince Democrats and Republicans, or excuse me, Democrats and Independents to vote for you because you speak in the proper tone and you cross every T and dot every I and lowercase j, communicating effectively, and you gain those people and you win on the issues, do you want that, or do you want to feel good because you won the na 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 back and forth? What do you want to win? You want to win as adults, or do we want to win as children in a dumb rhetorical battle? Well, and I actually got, that's a great point. That's a great point. And this is somebody who is an absolute, totally, completely loyal Trump fan still today. And they went, yeah, you're right. You're right on that. I go, that's the problem I've had with Trump the entire time. He doesn't want to win the war as much as I do. He wants to win the rhetorical battle.
Right.
That's not what I'm, the instant rhetorical battle. I want to win the rhetorical and convincing war on the issues so those people come along with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. And as a talk show host, I mean, I'm sure liberals get upset because we're passionate, but I'm not president. If I was a politician, I'd probably say things differently. Well, it all depends on what your job is. What is your job? What are you attempting to do?
And in today's world, and in part, I guess, because of Trump, it doesn't mean you have to Mike Pence your way through things. You don't have to.
No.
You don't have to Mike Huckabee your way through things. You we'll see. We'll see how far Mike Pence goes, how long he lasts in the primary. But we've learned from DeSantis, and again, we'll see how long he lasts in the primary, or if he goes all the way. But you can be blunt and also stay focused.
Well,
on the issues,
right? Yes, you can be both, but at times a certain tone is necessary to the public.
Well, no,
at a particular time, as president, as a leader, it is.
Yeah, and I think that tone is exactly it. Even if you're being blunt, I think being blunt,
you can. Yeah,
I think that if you're being blunt, you get more respect. Even if some people disagree with you, they see it, and what they want to see is everything that you are. What people hate are surprises.
And the reason I bring it up is because, and we didn't talk much about this, is the Florida's history curriculum.
Yeah.
Where if you've actually seen the document on it and what it actually does, and you see what Kamala Harris picked out of it, it's a racist document. You see why so many conservatives who actually have read the document and even the author of it, who is black, says this is an absolute lie. When you view it in the context of the hundreds upon hundreds of lessons that they're talking about, the horrendousness of slavery, and then the one line, but this is why you got to be careful of how you write lines, how you communicate. But where it said how slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. Harris, charged in Florida, has decided middle school students will be taught that enslaved people benefited from slavery. Well, that's not what it meant, but understand, I thought that was a great example for Republicans and conservatives to understand that even if you have a document, because what that document was stating from the context that I see it is that there were slaves that developed skills. There's actually a few books written on it that developed skills that weren't, for example, just slave labor, but they actually developed, skills that they could use when they ran to the North, where they were instantaneously employable. And there's a few books. I think Charles Cook wrote about one of the books that's out there in National Review. But it was the fact that, no, there were, in anything where there's something that's horrible happening, there were things that happen in there that made it better for them, not made slavery better, but gave them an opportunity to get out of slavery and move and get something done. But if you see it in the context of everything that's terrible in it, and you take one line out of a document of tens of thousands of words, and, I think there's like 170 different ideas that they want to teach, and you pick that one sentence out, just understand your political enemy and what they will do. And understand that how you argue and how you go on the offense, you don't wait. See, this would be a perfect example for Republicans to be constantly pounding the Democrats on identity politics, as we do here. They're racist. They judge people by groups and not individuals. We all know they do that. Democrats know they do it. Republicans know they do it. Pound it each and every day. And when you see that this one sentence out of it, and did you read the one Charles Cook thing where he wrote it? It took me about an hour to read. So I'm going over and over and over it again because he's going through every single point of what it was teaching, and so was the creator of it, the black historian who wrote. He goes, this is such an incredible lie of how she interpreted it and how she promoted it. That's what they do,
right? No, that's exactly their MO.
And so I think it's another thing to understand that you need to be on the attack and not always the offensive. You need to be on the attack, especially when it comes to what they believe is their strongest point, which is they argue racism and climate change on a consistent basis, but racism they've been arguing for the longest time, and they are bluntly racist and accusing the opposition of doing it. This is where you just don't defend. You attack all the time as to what they're doing. Not just when they do something, respond, you attack constantly.
No, it's going to be required. It is going to be, it is more work now than it's ever been. The effort to change hearts and minds is a greater battle now than it has ever been because of the left and what they've been able to get away with. And I put that, by the way, on a number of Republicans along the way for letting them get away with it.
Yeah.
Even some still today.
Still today, yep.
If you're going to lay down, go lay down. Go home.
866-90 Red Eye.
The big news story this week, of course, the heat.
More than 125 million Americans are under heat alerts. That's more than 1/3 of the United States population. In the coming
Reportedly, thousands of people have been suffering heat-related illnesses and, in some cases, deaths. Dee Jepson is a safety and health professor at Ohio State University. She says sometimes heat stress symptoms can sort of sneak up on you, and some serious signs of trouble.
Fatigue or dizziness, even irritability, impaired judgment, any type of lack of ability to concentrate.
At that point, things are getting very serious.
Now the heat is affecting our blood flow into our brain. The body's trying to redirect that blood to release the heat from the skin, but when it does that, it kind of starts to affect us through our whole nervous system.
At that point, we have to get cooled down fast because Jepson says when our body temperatures go above 100 degrees for any length of time out in that heat,
that's in the fatal zone.
Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
This report is made possible by Cenex Roadmaster XL Premium Diesel and Citgo Lubricants.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90 Red Eye on Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Carly, and I'm Gary McNamara. So I actually thought that was an opportunity from the Florida, history, slavery history, whatever, that curriculum that came out. I thought it was a great opportunity when I saw what Harris did to let, Republicans know that this is why you should be on the attack, because especially on racism, because that's something that the Democrats have used against Republicans since I've been doing talk radio.
Yeah.
And I have stated since the very beginning when I started doing talk radio, where are we now? Full 34 years come October.
Mm-hmm.
That's always an issue when they were going after Clarence Thomas, whatever, the early, because I got into talk radio 88, and really Rush became national, in 89, Rush became national in 88. And then talk radio was really in infancy the next 5 years. And there was a great camaraderie of the talk show host as modern talk radio began. And a lot of the conservative blacks were just eviscerated by the left. And as we've stated, the first victims of the modern identity politics movement, the racist movement, was to go after blacks and conservative blacks. And it still is today.
It still is very active today.
It still is active today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that the Republicans have never taken the opportunity to actually sit down and say, we need to be not on the defense, we need to be on the attack.
Yeah.
We need to be on the rhetorical attack consistently on this one because they are bluntly racist. And as we know in that time, Republicans or Democrats themselves have said, we got to stop this identity politics. We've got to stop judging people by groups.
Right.
Everybody knows that's where racism comes from. Mm-hmm. Use it effectively, Republicans.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, two stories I found of interest. Wow, this sounds like some common sense critical thinking.
Okay. All right.
Donna Hansbrough, a 68-year-old Lowe's employee who was fired for violating the company's policy on stopping the theft of merchandise, was reinstated.
Interesting.
A statement sent to Fox News Digital, Lowe's spokesperson said she accepted the offer to return.
Good.
After senior management became aware of the incident and spoke to her, we are reinstating her job, as we are pleased that she has accepted the offer to return to Lowe's. First and foremost, there's nothing more important than the safety of our customers and associates. Products can be replaced, people cannot. We continue to work closely with law enforcement to investigate and prosecute those who are responsible for this theft and violent attack. Look, I'm going to be the first, if I have employees, to say if someone comes in to rob something, maybe you shouldn't confront them. I don't want you to get hurt.
I don't try and stop them, because honestly, you don't know how desperate that person is to get out that door.
Right. But I'm not going to fire my employee if they do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you just have to appeal to them in every way that you can to make sure that they know, look, she had bruises. She had bruises on her face from trying to stop these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you whether or not, she would do it again, but I'm guessing based on everything that's gone down, there might be a different consideration going forward.
Now, remember, it wasn't as if someone just stole a candy bar.
No.
Yep.
No.
She attempted to stop thieves from stealing roughly $2,000 worth of merchandise from a Georgia store.
Yeah. No, this is a big deal.
Right. In
terms of the amount that they were stealing.
The longtime employee who worked at the company for 13 years was punched in the face 3 times on June 26th after she grabbed one of their shopping carts. Police identified the 3 suspects who were taken into custody. Wow.
Yeah.
But she's 68 years old. If she was my employee, I'd say, look, I'd rather you not do it. I don't want you. I understand your loyalty. I don't want you to get hurt.
Right.
But I'm not firing her if she does.
No, because it's
an incredible sense of loyalty to the store.
It is, and she saw it for what it was. I mean, this thing was a heist.
Yeah.
And blatant. And it wasn't a good decision by her, but you know why she did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have that conversation, and again, you go out and try and reinforce it with everybody that works there. Listen, we're doing everything we can to protect you, and so help us out here in a situation like that. Please don't step in front of these individuals and try and stop them yourself.
Yeah, you're going to let us know. Here's the system to let us know shoplifting's going on.
Yep. If you've got, they've got cameras everywhere.
Cameras. If you have, if you do have,
got your cell phone on you, and
if you do have security or loss prevention people that are actually there.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt worked in law. They still have them, loss prevention people that actually will stop you. They used to.
I don't know that they do that anymore. I don't think they actually stop you. In fact, over the last couple of years, the retail pharmacy companies have hired private security, and the private security isn't even stopping them. What they are doing is they are watching them. They are getting information on the individuals. to see if they can help local authorities when it comes to crime rings. Because if you look at organized crime, if you look at some of the things that are being done with the items that are being stolen, then it quickly leads to federal crimes. And so the play was by those large pharmacy retail companies was to provide as much information as you can to local, state, county, and federal authorities if there was ever a will to actually prosecute anyone. And it's ridiculous that we actually have to say that, but that's where we are right now. And those are the things, that these retail environments, they all have to measure the same thing.
Well,
is it safe for our employees?
Right.
Do our customers feel safe coming in because they might get in the way? People could be walking in. I was walking into a retail store. I won't say the name, but it rhymes with Walmart. And a shoplifter was coming out of and it was out the door that I was going in. And two managers were kind of chasing them, looked like they were basically just trying to get, lay eyes on them and get some information in terms of witnessing something. And then the managers had already called the police. There was a car parked right outside the front door. They hopped in that car and they sped away. And so I asked one of the associates, what did they grab? And they said it was a box of lunch meat. I said, what?
Wow.
They said, yeah, we were stocking the lunch meat, and they grabbed a box of lunch meat. I said, well, it looked like a pretty big box. I said, yeah, it was probably, a couple $100 worth. I mean, I was like, oh, all right. And it was 2 or 3 of them. And then somebody in the car. And I thought to myself, had they been, I don't know, more desperate, and I was walking in as they're running out the exact same door, patrons can be hurt, customers can be hurt, the associates can be hurt. Those two managers were just trying to lay eyes on them so they could, I guess, tell authorities, what they saw. And that's exactly how it went down. I mean, I did my shopping. The police were there within a minute. I was told about a week later that they did catch up with them because the car pulled right in front of the store where all the cameras are. Genius.
Well, when I just went on my trip to New York, I parked at the airport, and I prepay because you get a lot cheaper to park.
Mm-hmm.
When I enter, at the toll tag, good morning, Gary McNamara. It's like I can't ever commit a crime.
No,
my electronic.
Well, no, because when you stop, even if you don't, when you stop, they're taking a picture of the vehicle and everybody in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason you have to stop for so long going in and coming out is because that picture needs to be clear. They're not just, if you have a toll tag, of course, they're scanning that for payment if you're in that lane. But no, they're getting very clear record. Did you see? One lady came back from a trip and her car was gone.
Oh,
a luxury
car.
Well,
exactly where I park.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly that news item, because that would be in.
It was a few weeks
ago. That
ago?
would be in Terminal A.
Yeah.
Terminal A, which is the best to me in the airport. That's the best. Just so people know, we have 5 terminals at the airport, soon to have a 6th.
Each of them is like their own airport.
Yeah, exactly. Each of them, and so, and there's the 6. They're going to build a new one now, another one. 6 terminal.
Are they calling it F? It is going to be F, right?
A, B, C, D, E, F. It would have to be F. Yeah, F terminal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let the jokes begin. I've just been wondering.
and they will. Mm-hmm. But I park there all the time. Somebody had told me about it, and I saw it. I ended up watching it on YouTube, the story, and I went, oh, wow, it's a terminal. Well, that's where I park every single time. I'm safe. You know why? I bring the 20-year-old vehicle.
Oh, no, I'm safe because I bring my new vehicle. It's funny because when I went to the Iowa 80 Truck Show, last minute thing, I had to change of plans and I had to park at the airport. And I was only gone for a couple of days, no big deal. But I went to and I parked at the airport, and I parked at B Terminal. And when I got inside, because of where my phone was, a related news item came up from Newsbreak, which is one of the apps I have on my phone. And it was about that lady getting her vehicle stolen.
Mm-hmm. Then there was another guy, too.
They said, they said there's actually a rise in vehicle thefts at I don't know what that means. I don't know how many total they've had. By the way, don't want to put a bunch of fear in people's minds. You should always, do everything you can to lock up your car, lock it up and be safe. But my vehicle will text me if it moves. I get a notification on my phone through my app, and so I know immediately you won't get very far in my vehicle.
See, I
I can shut it down. Actually,
they can buy my vehicle and go, huh?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
They move on to the next one.
Well, they break into your vehicle to leave you things.
They feel sorry for me.
Here, do you have any money?
This
leave them some money.
This guy's driving a 20-year.
Yeesh.
Oh, when I was at my family reunion, I brought that up, and they're looking at me. They're going, "There's no way you can't do that. You can't have a 20-year-old vehicle. Come on, you don't have one. Can it pass?" I said, "Remember, I live in Texas. There's no salt, or there's very little salt."
Yeah.
And I said, no, this thing would be eaten out. If I lived in, it would never made it to 20. It probably wouldn't have made it to 12.
Yeah.
With the amount of salt they have.
No, we go to the beach once a year, and the first thing I do on my way out of town, coming home from the coast, is go through a car wash.
And I forgot about that because they were like, come on, that's not true. Your car is in great shape. I said, no, it sits up real high. Everything is great. And I couldn't realize, why are they doubting me? Oh, salt
from the roads, from the all the ice that they get up there.
But just very quickly on that story on the Lowe's employee, on Monday's broadcast of CNN's Out Front, the CNN national correspondent reported on crime in San Francisco and said she witnessed 3 instances of theft in one Walgreens location in the city in a 30-minute time period.
I think it was San Francisco. I can't remember. I mentioned it on the air just the other day even. But there was one Walgreens. All of their frozen food section, all of those doors are chained now.
That's what they're saying. Locked up, frozen food.
Yep. And this is going to be the future. I saw one tech guy that was on, and he's part of the design of, he says, a lot of retailers are looking at basically ordering it on your app, right? Putting your cart together on your app, and then you just drive up and they bring it out to you. You're going to pay for it before it's even carried out of the store, one way or the other. And they see that as the only true remedy to stopping theft. Problem is, how amenable is that to everybody? You're only going to get a certain portion of people that will participate at that level. But COVID changed a lot of that.
No,
there were a lot of places that didn't do delivery that now do them, but especially with the, pull up in the space, pre-order, and then we bring it out to the car. And that's now, what they see as, all right, and we'll incentivize it because we can actually save money by lowering the prices a little bit as long as everybody's paying for everything that goes out the door. And that's how they pay for it.
866-90-RED-EYE.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I just saw this article, and I wanted to say thanks to Fox News for listening to us and putting this out at 5 a.m. Karine Jean-Pierre claims Biden was never in business with Hunter, The goalposts have shifted. Exactly what we played it just a couple of hours ago.
Exactly, yes.
And,
Yep.
And
Thank
it's
you
like
for listening.
it's like how she was blasted. Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They have New York Post columnist Miranda Devine remarked because if you ask, it was the reporter from Fox asked the question to Karine Jean-Pierre about. Let me just see here. Chairman Comer today says that the Oversight Committee has evidence that President in the past communicated directly with foreign business associates of his son Hunter many times. Curious if the White House and the President still stand behind his comment that he's never been involved and has never even spoken to his son about his business, Turner asked. She said, I've been asked that a million times. The answer's not going to change. The answer remains the same. The President was never in business with his son.
That's not.
And that was it.
It was.
And it was like, you didn't answer the other question.
Yeah. Wow.
This is Red Eye Radio on West.